very good morning to all learned judicial professors. Today's session will be on artificial intelligence, and before that I would like to put a few things just before I start the session. First of all, I'd like to express deep gratitude to our learned director, Mr. Vinay Sharma, for entrusting me with this responsibility. Thank you, sir. And secondly, because I had recently had my cyst surgery and the oral surgery.
What's this surgery?
Urvash ma'am knows me. So since I had that, I cannot open my mouth fully, so I would like you to kindly excuse me for that. So I'll begin today's session. It's on artificial intelligence, and most of you would have already heard the term artificial intelligence and what it is, how it works. Most of you have heard about or used ChatGPT, Gemini by Google, or Copilot from Microsoft. So artificial intelligence, what we'll do today, I'll just list out what we'll do today. We'll understand what AI is, what artificial intelligence is in simple terms. We'll understand the scopes and limits, what it can do, what it cannot do. We'll identify the risks and misuse, and also we'll talk about data protection, cyber safety, and we'll give you a few tips on cyber hygiene, which is very important in today's world. So what is artificial intelligence? So it's pattern recognition. So normally what we humans do when we learn things is we repeatedly learn a certain thing, we understand it by certain patterns. We know the color. Suppose we know the color of this carpet is red, we know the texture, the fabric, so we get to know about it. So in the same way, a machine also learns through different data points, and that is how human-like intelligence is given to a machine, and that is called artificial intelligence. So it's the ability of machines to mimic human intelligence. So there are three basic steps out here. First is learning. A machine learns. Lots and lots of data is fed to the AI system to train it so that it finds patterns, it recognizes patterns. And next is it reasons. There are many options, like there is ambiguity in data. Most of the times there is ambiguity in data because normally there may be multiple alternatives or multiple answers to a question. So it weighs options to reach conclusions. Something, artificial intelligence has something called machine learning, where a machine learns. It's very simple. A machine learns, and inside that there is something called deep learning. Deep learning is where there are multiple layers, just like the human brain, where we have different neurons, connecting with each other through synapses. Similarly, in AI as well, in deep learning, there are different layers of these neurons. They are called nodes. And they communicate with each other. They send information from the higher node to the lower node, and they assign weights. Like suppose we talk about like the queries for an apple. An apple could be an Apple device. An apple could be a fruit. It could be green. It could be red. It could be yellow. I don't know. And so there are multiple alternatives, and from that the AI reasons out. It weighs options to find out which conclusion to get to and what to serve to the user. And then the third process is perception and action. Now finally what it does, normally the AI or the artificial intelligence, what it does is it understands text, it understands images, sounds, videos, and then it gives you output as per your requirement, as per the requirement of the user. And an AI can be termed as a very good AI or a very bad AI according to the result that you get. According to the expectations you have and the result that is delivered. The difference between the two. So finally, it is the action or the result that it serves to you. So these three basic steps will give you the gist of artificial intelligence. Then we move on to the next slide. Here I want you to see if you find anyone, if you recognize anyone in this image. Most of the faces are morphed, if you see properly. When we see strangers, like these are all strangers, so our brain tries to look for patterns. It tries to look for patterns to identify, someone's smile, someone's height, someone's body type, and there are different patterns, and this is how our mind finds out, or our mind tries to recognize someone. Like, do I know this person? Have I seen this person somewhere? And now in this image here, I bet all of you recognize all of the people in this image, because we know all of them, we recognize all of them. Our mind instantly recognizes that these are people we know, and normally we know people by the emotional experience we have with the memories, with expressions and context and all stuff. Like, we know all of them are judges, so that is the basic context that we have. And this is how human intelligence works. But AI also works in a very similar fashion, but without the experience, without the emotion that we have, and it sees this image as a collection of pixels, as a collection of numbers, as the difference, as the length of the line from one corner of the lip to another. It doesn't see it as a human. It doesn't understand. It just sees what it sees as data and pixels. That is it. Now let's move on to what AI can do. AI can do a lot of things, but we'll just keep ourselves confined to judicial to judgments and all stuff. So first of all, you can summarize documents. If you give any, I suppose, I don't know if you've used I Love PDF, or if you've used ChatGPT or any such stuff to summarize documents. You give it a huge PDF, 500 pages, maybe a judgment of 500 pages. It will quickly summarize the key points. It will answer all your questions. So it makes life easy for a judge, and also for research clerks, for law clerks. Number two is you can find case precedents. If you have, suppose you have a case in hand, and which is always unique, but similar type of cases have already occurred in the past, and when you try to search it manually, it will take you lots of time, it will take lots of effort, and also there's a chance of missing out on a lot of probably good judgment that from where you can rely on. So what AI does is it swiftly searches through vast legal databases so that it minimizes the time and effort, and also helps you not miss out on different judgments that could be valuable for you. Number three, it helps in translate or transcribe. We'll come to this later as well, because there's something called Subhas that is being used by the Supreme Court. So AI can translate or transcribe audio, speech to text, text to speech. It can translate from one language to the other. And India has been doing a certain project called Bhashini, where it is translating lots of stuff from English to regional languages. We'll come to that later as well. Then number four, we have it can analyze judgment trends. So looking at the trends in how judgment have been given over time, it can kind of analyze it and predict what kind of case you have at hand and what kind of judgment could be given. So this is based on historical data. So these are just four simple things that AI can do. AI can do a lot more, which most of you are, I think, aware of. But this is in the judicial field. Now, what are its limits? What it cannot do? Because AI is not, God, that it can do everything, or nature. So AI has its limits. It excels in many areas, but especially in areas requiring human intuition, which judges require the most. And I think this will be the last thing that AI can replace. So in the things requiring human intuition, AI does not excel. It does not have any emotional intelligence. It does not understand anything which has emotions in it. It can say, oh, I understand, I feel for you, but it does not really feel. It just says it feels. So it cannot feel empathy. It can only simulate responses. It works only on data. So the efficacy or the efficiency of AI is is dependent on the amount of data it is fed and amount of quality data it is fed, because bad quality data can lead to bad output, and the AI system itself will not be good. But good quality data and humongous amounts of data will lead to better outputs for the user. So that is one thing. Number three, which is it's very important, that it may carry bias, and it will always carry bias, because the data that is used to train AI, an AI system, is always fed by humans, and humans always have prejudices. We have our own judgments, we have our own biases. So AI it may and it will carry bias. So this is a very important thing, especially for judges, because if we rely completely on the data that AI gives, then there are high chances that judges would be making mistakes in the judgment. So we'll always have to take it with a pinch of salt. Sorry, I'm saying will. I'm not a judge, but still, it's just coming. Then the fourth thing is there's no legal accountability. When an AI makes mistakes, who is accountable? Who is held accountable? Right now there is no law for it. So there is no human accountability. Like if I make a mistake right here, if I'm teaching you something wrong, I'm held accountable for it. But if suppose there is an AI system that's teaching you, and if it makes a mistake, I don't know who will be held responsible, because you cannot put a machine in jail, or a correctional home, because it is just a machine. It does not have any feelings, or it cannot learn. So this thing, legal accountability, is also an issue. Now we'll move on to AI. What's happening in the field of AI in India currently in 2025? There are lots of things happening, but the basic thing is, I think the most important is the India AI mission. The government has set out a budget overlay of more than 10,000 crores over the next 5 years to set up an India AI mission. The government really wants to build a comprehensive AI ecosystem by developing indigenous capabilities. Like all AI data sets, all AI models will be built by Indians and will be used in India. It will have all the regional nuances, all the cultural, what is it called? I just forgot the word, but the cultural tie-ups and all stuff. So it will always have a context that is within India. So this is the India AI mission. Then you have the AI Kosh. Kosh in Sanskrit it means a storage. So this is a storage or a unified data platform which has a repository of data sets, models, use cases, and all the stuff. Data sets is, in simple terms, it's self-explanatory. It is a set of data. So you have lots and lots of data. Actually, if we look at all of us sitting out here, it is also a set of data. It's a set of many judges sitting out here. So this is one kind of a data set. So we'll have multiple data sets, multiple models, AI models that are trained. So people can, startups, companies, institutions, and governmental organizations, NGOs, all can, provide information out there. They can add some models, they can get some models, and then they can work upon it to, get some new models and stuff like that. So this is a repository. Then you have something called the Bharat Gen. This is also indigenously developed, and it is a multi-model large language model. And this is also tailored for India's linguistic and cultural landscape. But let me explain what large language model is and what multi-model means. First, multi-model. Multi-model comes from the word mode. Mode is a way of communication. So if you have one mode, it is a single mode of communication. See, so normally there are 4 modes of communication in the way AI is used. Textual mode of communication, then you have voice, video, and audio. Voice is audio, image. So you have 4 different modes of communication. So it is multimodal. So it accepts all different types of input. It also generates all different types of output. So it can give you a video if you want. And this is all tailored to all India specific. So there will be, you will get answers to queries that are very, very India specific, not global queries. And a large language model, it is a jargon, it is a technical jargon, which means So there are two types of models: small language model, large language model. The small language model has less number of data. It can give you, it cannot give you generic output. It is confined to a certain subset of area of application. Whereas large language model is trained with 3 to 300 billion data points. So it has huge numbers of data. So ChatGPT can be called an LLM. You have DeepSeek, you have Google Gemini, you have Grok by X or Twitter. So these are all large language models, and they work on large amounts of data. That's why they are called large language models. Then you have Bhashini that I was talking about. Bhashini, Bhasha, it comes from the root word Bhasha, which means language, and it aims to transcend the linguistic barriers, because normally, even in courts, the official language is only English, and only in some northern Indian belts of UPBR they produce judgments in Hindi, I guess. But apart from that, mostly it is in English. So people who do not have command over English cannot understand judgments, cannot understand orders. That's why Bhashini, though it is not limited to judgments and orders, though it's not limited to the judiciary, but it is a project that has larger implications for all sections of the society, because normally every every service that you have, take DigiYatra, DigiLocker, UPI, or any other service, most of the services today are digitalized. So you have it in your phone or you have it in your laptop. So people have trouble accessing those services if they're not available in regional languages. So Bhashini aims to transcend that language barrier. So this is AI in India. Now we have AI globally. How AI is being used globally? So I just want to pause here for a moment. If you have any queries, kindly you may ask your questions, because I do not know. I'm just going on, speaking. So kindly let me know if you have queries. I'll pause and answer. So we'll move on to global adoption and responsible use. We believe, normally we think that AI is only being used because it is a new technology, so it's only being used by developed countries. But there are over 60 lower and middle income countries that are trying to bridge the gap, the technological gap. So they have introduced their own AI policies, the national AI strategies, and India is one of them. And also the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, has curated more than 1,000 AI policy initiatives. So this is how AI is being gradually adopted by all countries, of the world. Then there's an act called the Artificial Intelligence Act 2024, which was passed by the Parliament of the European Union. This is the first comprehensive act in the whole world. I think it's not just a European regulation. It is applicable to European Union only, but it is a comprehensive act, the first one in the world, which categorizes AI applications broadly into 3 risk categories. So one is unacceptable risk. Unacceptable risk are such applications like those used in China, where people are monitored, where the life and liberty of people are at risk. So those types of applications are put at unacceptable risk. Then you have high-risk applications like self-driving cars or AI-based medical devices. Like there's this research from Australia. They have developed something called the AI eye scanners. So they'll just scan the retina of the eye, and they'll get to know if you have heart problems or not, because they say the eye contains lots of data. The nerves in the eye contains lots of data about the heart, about the whole body itself actually. But scanning the retina, they'll get to know if they have if the patient has some heart problems. So those type of devices or those type of AI systems are actually, they can affect the life of a person. So that comes under high risk, which may affect, and which directly affects is unacceptable risk. which may affect his AI-based medical devices or self-driving cars. Like a self-driving car, you may buy a self-driving car, you may just let it chauffeur, you may just sit around, and if it makes a mistake, that may cause death, that may cause injury to you. That's why it is considered high risk. Then you have low or minimal risk. So low or minimal risk, so these are applications like AI chatbots and similar applications where you do not have much risk, but the applications must mention that you are talking to or you are interacting with an AI. So that's about the European Union's Artificial Intelligence Act 2024. Then there are some countries like Singapore and China which are using AI. Singapore is just using AI in a few small claims tribunals. They're just integrating AI in a targeted manner. Whereas China is implementing a top-down approach. It is trying to get AI into the systems, from starting from its apex courts to all its district judiciary. I think it's also district judiciary out there. So AI is being used in such a manner in China, and other countries are also doing so. There's a specific case called a robot judge. This is from Estonia. I came across it. Estonia, I think in 2017 or 18, the government of Estonia proposed using a robot judge that will deliver judgments for small claims. And they did. I think they tried it for a few years, and they knew that it is not possible because the system lacks the intuition, and it lacks the emotional connect with the what is it called? Litigants. With the litigants. So that's why they scrapped the program, and they said, okay, we'll do it in a very small scale, and we will always make it mandatory that it requires human oversight. So this was a robot judge program by Estonia. Moving on, we have some creative use cases of AI, and I think most of you have used at least one or the other use case of artificial intelligence. First, generative art, and this is not limited to just these 4 topics. There are lots and lots of other use cases, but I've just mentioned these 4. Generative art and design. If you have used Adobe Firefly, DALL-E, Midjourney, and there are others as well. So these AI models, what they do is they generate AI-based, realistic-looking images and art sketches for you. So artists normally use this for inspiration, prototyping. So this is generative art and design. In music composition and production, I have an example for you because I have used one. The AI tools can generate original music. They'll give you just tell them what kind of music you want, and it'll give you the music. You can give them the lyrics if you want. You can skip the lyrics. It'll just give you an instrumental, but you can ask it to generate lyrics as well. So there are platforms like Aiva, Suno, and Soundful, and I've used Suno, and I'll play one track from there. So we'll just take 2 minutes of kind of a break. We'll listen to this. Bluetooth connection. And it's okay, it's connected to the Epson. Is it audible? So this was just one example of how AI can generate music. And this I fed the lyrics in English alphabets where the words were all in Nepali, so it could not figure out whether it's tato or no, the words like ta, it could not figure out, like tado, it could say tada, tado, and the words which have these the what is it, the which are not soft, you know, ta, da, so it cannot figure out what kind of words these are, so it will just say it's tada, and it cannot you know read hriday, so it just say hriday, something of that sort. You know, it does not get all those things properly. But if you ask it to generate something in Nepali, it will generate, it will sing in proper Nepali for you. So it will do that in all languages, I mean most languages. If it is doing it in Nepali, it's doing it in perhaps 50 plus languages. So
whether it compose the music, if I have given the lyrics, it can compose.
Yes, sir. This one I gave the lyrics. It composes itself, and it will not give you just one composition. It will give you multiple.
Like sentimental or.
So you can, like I'll show you how it works here. So you can give it. And this. So this is Suno. Here if I give it some lyrics out here, or if I ask it to generate some lyrics, it will generate some lyrics. Then I'll have to tell it what kind of song do I want, hip hop, R&B, or slow song, instrument, and I'll have to write if I want a Nepali song, if I want an English. Suppose I had a Nepali song, and then I'll just give it a kind of a catchy pop thing. And lyrics I do not have currently, so I think this is prompt based on so now this is giving okay, this is giving me in English. It's, okay. I don't know if it works like this. Yeah. So this is one of the, so I'll just select this option. I'll ask it to create. These are all previous creations. So I had also made a song about surgery and khole because I was eating khole a lot. So that was also there. So it gives two options which are short ones. So it will ask to upgrade, and there are two other options which are longer ones. So let's play the shorter ones. And you can also select if you want the voice to be female or male. And there are other things which are only available in the pro version, like persona, inspiration, and all stuff. But this is the free version. So these are all catchy. You know, anyone can make songs right now. It's very, very easy. And you can use your own voice as well. But that's, I think, in the pro version. Okay. So we'll go back to the presentation.
How is AI able to create this kind of
It's all about recognizing patterns that I said already. It has been fed millions and billions of songs, and since we know that humans also do not create music from thin air. Actually, music is all about the 8 ragas, like the 8 basic this thing, sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. So out of these we just twist some here, twist some there, and we get the music that we want. So it also does the same. It takes some sa, some re, some ga, and it puts together, it weaves kind of music together. And because it has been fed lots and lots of songs, it knows what what kind of note to get from where. So it will get a short note from somewhere, and it'll work on it, and it'll make sure that the song, the tune that you are getting has not been used before. That also it matches with those, and then all that you get are unique. Most probably, I would say 99% unique, but it may make some mistakes. Normally, these are all unique, and it generates the lyrics that you. Lyrics are also lots and lots of data are fed, lots and lots of Nepali words, lots and lots of English words are fed, and then it uses its own pattern recognition capability and it processing capability to then give you the lyrics that you want, the kind of lyrics that you have asked for in the prompt. So just like I asked a song about love, and it should be Nepali, so it understood it should be Nepali, and it is about love. So it just made up something, it gave it to me, and then at the end it weaved together everything, the music, the lyrics, everything. Does it answer your question?
What are the platforms that they use to create all these kind of?
No, these are all AI models. These are all models, and we do not know the internal workings, because all AI models, like most AI models, are black boxes. So you
Java or
no okay. Normally they are in Python. Yes, normally they are in Python. So AI models, normally neural networks, all of these are in Python. So it's the most used in artificial intelligence. And then we go to video game development. Previously, if you love playing games, mobile games, or right now I don't think you have the time to play games, but if you used to play mobile games or computer games, you used to have enemies, coming from one side. You used to have a strategy. You used to have the same kind of difficulty every time you played that level. The scene was the same. Nothing changed. So it became a kind of boring, and then you would switch over to other games. So now, with the help of AI, what happens is everything is changed in real time, depending on your ability, depending on your strategy. If you are playing very well, then the AI system itself gives you tougher opponents. So it makes playing games very interesting. This is in video game development, and then in fashion design and trends, AI. What it does is like fashion designers nowadays, what they do is they try to find out what is trending, what textile is trending, what fabric is trending, what kind of design is trending, so that they can come up with new ideas. This is for prototyping, so that they can quickly iterate and accelerate the launch of their product. So this is what is happening in creative fields. Then you also have enterprise use cases. So enterprise are large organizations that use AI, and how they use AI. This one, almost all of us have been facing this one, and it is a boon and a bane both, because hyper personalized experiences. You are getting ads tailored to you. You are getting recommendations that are personalized, that are hyper personalized. Like 4 people in a house all get different recommendations. It's not that 4 people of a house, so maybe he wants to buy a broom, so maybe all of them want to buy a broom. It's not like that. I want to buy a broom, this person wants to get a chair, another one a table. So depending on your search, depending on what you say, because most of the times what you are saying is also being recorded by the operating system of the phone itself. So if you talk a lot, someday you can try talking a lot about chairs and tables. The next day you'll get advertisements related to chairs and tables, even if you don't search for it, using text. So that is also a mode, and it's good for companies because it increases sales. In a way it's good for us also, because we don't have to search hither and thither for different items that are useless, that are not related to us. So we can pinpoint and find out, find the products that we want to buy. So this is in hyper personalized experiences. Then we have drug discovery and development. In the pharmaceutical industry, what AI does is it is fed a lot of amount of data related to drug. So previously used drugs can have newfound uses in different areas, and what it does is it optimizes the trials, the clinical trials, finds new drug candidates. So this is how the pharmaceutical industry has been using artificial intelligence. What it does, it speeds up R&D, it reduces the cost of R&D as well. Then in fraud detection and cybersecurity, large companies, there are always bad actors who try to defraud an agency, defraud a government, defraud anyone, any individual. And we also have been dealing with that because we have people posing as police officers on video calls and saying, okay, you have been arrested as a digital arrest, and that is all bullshit because there is nothing called digital arrest, and police cannot arrest you from some other jurisdiction, we all know. So, but people have been falling for that trap, and this is on an individual level. On an organization or an enterprise level, lots of organizations also face all these frauds. So they have AI systems set up in place to detect frauds, and they have cybersecurity measures set up. So this is how those institutions use it. And then there's supply chain optimization. Companies like FedEx, DHL, Delivery, Express Bees, and all, especially those who are in the field of logistics. How they use AI is they find out which route is the shortest, how we can save money, whether the weather is going to be all right using that route or not. So lots of things are taken into account to optimize the supply chain. Okay. So we'll move on to, I think, the main topic for today: why AI matters for judiciary. So AI helps judges, law clerks, research assistants a lot, but mostly these 3 points are how AI helps in judicial work. So it helps manage backlogs. I checked National Judicial Data Grid 2 days ago. The total number of pending cases were more than 4.7 crore. So that's huge amounts of cases, and it's all. I think one problem is the shortage of judges in the judiciary system of India, and the second thing is our system that is not very efficient. So AI can change that. It can help reduce the judicial backlogs, by automating routine case management tasks. So it can automate simple tasks like finding the summary of a judgment, or finding relevant judgments that have been cited in a certain judgment, and stuff like that. So it helps manage backlogs in that manner. Then you have faster legal research. So as I said earlier as well, AI can scour through vast legal databases, and then it will give you only relevant judgments, so that you do not have to waste time on finding those judgments. You'll get judgments that are only relevant to your particular case in hand. So this is also another benefit of AI. Then you have efficient translation and documentation. So AI, it may not be very efficient right now, but with time, gradually it is going to be more efficient. It'll get all documents, legal documents, translated to regional languages, and from regional languages to other regional languages, and English, back to English as well. So this is how AI matters for the judiciary. And let's see this a very brief judicial journey, like how AI is being used in India. The first thing is SUPACE. I think all of you have heard about it, Supreme Court Portal for Assistance in Court Efficiency. So SUPACE, what it does is, it does not give judgments, but it assists, and it is used in the Supreme Court, so it assists the judges with finding relevant information about the case, finding judgments that have been cited in previous cases, or what kind of judgments were given previously by other judges. So it lays before the judges certain documents, certain legal documents and facts, so that it is easier for the judge to then decide. But the final decision is always the judges. Then you have Subhas that I was talking about, Supreme Court Vidik Anuvad software. This is for translation of documents from from English to other regional languages. I think this has been working in our High Court as well. But this is only for the Supreme Court, but a similar type of AI-based software, I think it's working here as well. Then you have the National Judicial Data Grid, which helps us access all court-related or case-related, public-facing case-related information. So the general public can find out what type of cases are listed, or how many cases are pending, or which court has how many cases, and so on. And then there's something called the Digital Personal Data Protection, or DPDP Act 2023. I have a whole slide about it later, so I'll skip it for now. So this is similar to what I have already talked about. AI helps in drafting or summarizing orders. AI helps in finding relevant judgments, in analyzing case patterns. A certain kind of pattern or trend can be found in cases, and it helps in preparing statistics. I think the part about preparing statistics is it's not utilized properly right now, because I think AI is still in its nascent stage. So by using AI, judges can actually access detailed reports and also visualize graphs, and they can have lots of charts and graphs, so that looking at those diagrams, looking at those images, judges can find out what's lacking in the system, or what they are strong at. So this is a visualization part that AI supports. How is it being used in law and justice in India? In the field of court administration, e-filing and automated cause lists are being done with the help of AI in certain courts, not in all courts, I think. AI translation like Subhas is being used. Pendency can be tracked using NJDG, National Judicial Data Grid. In judicial decision support, I think all of you might have used SCC Online or Manupatra. So this is used for AI legal research, and it also contains SCC Online or Manupatra or similar other research based portals. They also contain AI tools, so that you just write something and it'll just give the required information to you, required judgments to you. Do you have summarization tools like I Love PDF? You can use ChatGPT as well, but I think High Court of Sikkim does not have a policy yet, but Kerala, I've given a few handouts to you, and one of it is regarding the policy implemented by the Kerala High Court about how to use AI. So Kerala High Court has already begun. It is, I think it is from July this year. Summarization tools can be used to summarize documents, to find out key points in very less time. Then you have pattern analysis, like I mentioned before. You have certain patterns in your case in hand. You can go through all such patterns in the past and then find out how something was decided. In the field of law enforcement, you have predictive policing. Some cities, some polices like Delhi and Hyderabad have already started using predictive policing. So this is a very interesting technology, where what is done is, suppose you take, for example, the case of Sikkim. All criminal data from Sikkim is fed to the AI system. Then the system now, what it does, it finds out where the most number of crimes have happened. Suppose the most number of crimes have happened in Gangtok. Suppose this is just a, what is it called? I tend to forget words. I'm so sorry. Okay, so about predictive policing, it's also written in one of those documents about how it's being used. But it's a hypothetical scenario that in Sikkim, suppose you take Gangtok as the most number of crimes that has taken place. Then you may divide it by the types of crimes like arson, robbery, theft, murder, and you may find out that Singtam has the most number of murders, or Namchi has the most number of theft cases. So this is how AI is being used by police force to predict what kind of cases can take place where, and then they can install, they can be more vigilant, they can install more security features, security-based cameras in those areas where more number of crimes are taking place. That's about predictive policing. Then you have traffic monitoring. All of you have seen those AI-based cameras in Gangtok. What they do is they get the number plates of your car, the registration numbers. They scan it and then they find out if your documents are up to date or not. So this is how it is used by the law enforcement and the traffic police. Then you have facial recognition. Although facial recognition is not very, it should not be relied upon very much, because even if you have the facial data of criminals, they can come up with masks. They can come up with full face mask or half face mask. So it's not a very reliable form of data, facial recognition. Then in legal education, you have AI for law students. You have case simulations. You can simulate cases. You have virtual moot courts where would-be lawyers fight with counsel which are AI based and such stuff. So AI is used like this in law and justice. So we are coming to the end of the first session. I don't know how much time. There's still much time left. I think this is the gist of what we have learned till now. And AI only assists, and it should only assist. Humans will decide, especially in the legal field. As judges, you should never let AI, decide, because as we already know that AI does not have the capability to decide on its own, because it has biases, it has lots of problems within itself. So AI should only assist. It should provide insights. It should make life easier for the judge, but then the final decision should rest with the judge. And in the example of SUPACE that I gave, Supreme Court Portal for Assistance in Courts, this is the AI research tool, not the AI judgment tool of the Supreme Court. It provides summaries of facts and case law. It minimizes the need for manual data searches, right? And the final decision always remains in human hands. So now I have a question for you. Should AI ever recommend bail or sentencing?
To always take the recommendation but pass our own decision ultimately.
Yes, sir. The gist is, I think it is the summary of the first session is, I think, that you judges should always take their own decisions and take help of the AI. But with regards to bail, suppose, do you feel that it is something different from passing other judgments or other orders?
I believe that if the data fed to the AI is well, because as we all know in ChatGPT, the cases that come up, the precedents, is all wrong.
Yes.
But if we have something that is tailored for the judiciary particularly, then we can always take help of the precedents that come up and AI, of course. But I believe that as you said in today's presentation, when we look at the mitigating circumstances of a particular person, of an accused, the emotional touch or empathy is always there. So we can always take help of the precedents is what I believe, but then at the end of the day, it depends on empathy as a human.
Yes, I think that is what AI lacks, and most probably that AI cannot ever build empathy.
And also AI cannot be held accountable.
Yes.
So that aspect is also.
Maybe we need stronger laws for that, to hold someone accountable, at least maybe a manufacturer of that software or of that device, or maybe the user. But there are no laws as of now, so that is still an issue. But I think we are coming up with those such laws, because countries have started, like the EU's AI regulations, they have started coming up with such laws. So it will be sooner than later. And regarding ChatGPT, I have my own experience, so I'll share with you. it's very funny, this one. I have two videos. First I'll show you the shorter one. Here what I did was I asked it what is ITNO in PMGSY. The PMGSY is a Prime Minister Gram Sadak Yojana. It said in PMGSY, ITNO stands for Intermediate Technical Non-Official. And I had never heard of this term, and I was searching it because my wife worked in PMGSY, so I was curious to know what ITNO was. And I asked it about the source. It gave me a few sources, and it said, okay, there are a few sources, and in context of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, Intermediate Technical Non-Official ITNO, still referring to that term. Once again I asked, give me the source. And then only there it was that it said, I cannot find a definitive source that explicitly defines ITNO as Intermediate Technical Non-Official. So this was one short example. There is another example. This is a little longer one. And this was when I was researching AI for my YouTube videos. So I was just getting some hook, I was getting some intro. And then in the value portion, so it talks about something called field wristband. Then I ask it, okay, I ask it, why did you include the field wristband? So it just gives some answer. I use it because of this wearable technology and so on. So it says, do you want a fitting Indian example about the same? And then I said yes. So when we talked about the fitting Indian example, so it replaced it with something called BioSense. There's a device called BioSense. And then I wanted to know what this BioSense was. And can you give me the website of this BioSense that you mentioned in the script? So ChatGPT said, I apologize for the confusion. The BioSense is just a conceptual example, and there is no specific Indian product. Then I tried to search for BioSense, what it is, and it was something related in the related to the healthcare industry, and it had some glucometers, but it was just basic glucometers. It was not smart glucometers. And now it talks about smart glucometers. Now it talks about the BioSense smart glucometer in this here. And then I just said, why are you giving me a fake company name? Because there's nothing called BioSense with a smart glucometer. So it says, you're absolutely right, and I apologize for the mistake. This is the third time it's apologizing. And let me correct that with some real world example. And they said Wiza is a legitimate app. Trans and Mindhouse. Mindhouse is also there. So it gave me these three examples. It says, okay, do you want me to replace it with something? Then I said, okay, you replace it with the Indian companies. And then it has these Mindhouse, Trans and all. So I said, what is this? Is this Wiza that I am reading as BioSense? Because here I missed out. It still has this BioSense technologies, which I had asked it to replace with Wiza. It is still written BioSense. So I said, what is this? Is it Wiza that I am reading as BioSense in this quoted paragraph? Then I said, I see where the confusion lies. You are right. Then BioSense technologies does not does not specialize in emotional or stress tracking. Then it replaces the thing. It gives me Wiza. Yeah, it gives the example of Wiza. And then I ask it, what does Wiza do? It gives me all the information about Wiza. Give me the website. Then ask it, give me the website of Trans. I apologize for the confusion earlier. After double checking, it seems that the mental wellness platform I mentioned, Trans, doesn't have widely recognized stuff. This is all fake. It was just giving me whatever name it wanted to give, and there is no website, there's nothing. Even after me telling it 3 times that I want real names, it was still giving me all those bullshit names which were not, they all made up names. And then finally I asked it to give me the websites, and then it gave me, the website was also wrong. It should have been mindhouse.com instead of mindhouse.in. So this brings me to the point that you always need to double, triple, quadruple check on the sources that it is giving, the data that it is giving, because in my case it was a simple YouTube video that would not harm anyone much. But in your case, it is the lives and liberty of people, of thousands of people. So I think if you are using AI, I encourage all of you to use AI, but also ask you to be aware of all these pitfalls and shortcomings of AI, so that it is used in a better way. I think this was it for my first session. We still have time, but if you want, we can disperse for tea. Or if you have questions, absolutely. So we'll resume. Before I start the second session, Zabin told me to give an example of how a PDF is summarized. So I have taken the example of a small PDF. You can find a small PDF in Google. You can just type small PDF in. This is a PDF summarizer, so I can choose any file. So the Kerala AI guidelines that I have given to you, I'll open it. Now it is analyzing. Now it's speed reading. So here's the whole document, and here's the summary of that document. So it has issued, High Court of Kharel has issued a policy for the responsible use of AI. All district judges and CGMs must ensure compliance and communicate well. So if I want an even shorter summary, the document outlines the policy regarding use of. See, I asked it to give me a shorter summary, and then it said, please provide the context or document, content or document. So it's still, AI is still not as good as we think it is. So I just said about this document. So it gives a very brief summary of what the document outlines. You can ask questions, given. You can ask questions about this document. This is a very short document, just 5 pages, but you can also summarize 5,000 pages documents for you. So it makes life easy. You can use small PDF. You can use ChatGPT as well. You can use any other tool like Google's Gemini or Grok by X. There are other tools as well. So these are all large language models that are used. There's another called Po. So this is also there. Here you have lots of bots, like you can use GPT, you can use lots of other bots as well, Grok, using one platform. So it integrates all the platforms. You can ask for anything you want. I want to know the latest. This is just a very. So it gives some judgments like Jetty Images versus Stability UK. Gives the summary of this thing. Thomson Reuters versus Ross Intelligence. Ross Intelligence is also a paid platform which is used in AI legal research. So there it gives answers to all that you ask for. So, now let's carry on with the presentation. Now we'll move on to the dark side of AI. So, like every technology or every possible thing on earth has a positive, it also has a negative. There are two sides to a coin, and there is a dark side to AI as well. Artificial intelligence may be on the rise. It may be, its use may be increasing day by day, but the general public needs to be educated on the shortcomings, the limits of AI, and also the darker side, which normally we have to deal with, and as time passes on, we'll have to deal with it on a daily basis. First of all, there are deep fakes and fake evidence. It's very important for the judiciary, because right now deep fakes can be found out to be fake. You can just look at it and you can say, okay, this looks fake. But with time, within a few years, it will be very difficult for anyone to identify if this is a fake video or a fake audio or a fake text, a signature. And this is very important. So there are deep fakes, there are fake evidences. There is bias and discrimination in AI. There is a lot of bias and discrimination. We'll come to each of these one by one. There are legal and ethical concerns about data privacy, security, and all, and transparency. Then there's another thing, that's over-reliance on AI. Now, this thing has not come into, it's not seen widely because we are just beginning to use artificial intelligence tools. So we're not over-relying on it. But as we begin to use it more and more, we may tend to over-rely on AI. And that will be a pitfall, that will be a shortcoming for users. So let's move on to deepfakes. So deepfake is a portmanteau. It comes from two words: deep, which is deep learning. It's a subset of machine learning, as I stated earlier, and fake. Fake, you all understand. So the ability to create highly realistic fake videos, voices, and images. So deepfakes are all highly realistic fake videos, images, or voices. And we have seen, I'll show you the next two slides have two different examples of deepfakes. There are all these fake stuff. It can mislead courts. Right now, courts may well identify that this is a fake document or a fake video, but it can mislead courts in the near future. There's a need for expert digital verification. The government has to put in place, or maybe the judiciary itself has to put in place checks and balances to all these, to these deep fake stuff, to all the fake videos, voices, images, so that they are limited in use. Here are some videos. This one is This one is Volodymyr Zelensky surrendering. This is one. At that time it looked like he was surrendering to Russia, but it was obviously a deepfake video. And this one is even more interesting.
Former President Obama taking on fake news, except turns out it is not really President Obama in this PFA. This is a clear example of technology that could become more widely used. And ABC David Wright is here to warn you that this video is proof that we can't believe everything that we see online.
That is right, Paula. Good morning. They say that the camera never lies, but technology is advancing so fast, but it can lie with greater and greater effectiveness. And that's the point of this new video.
Our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time.
Former President Barack Obama, right?
So, for instance, they could have me say things like, no, Killmonger was right. Wrong. See, I would never say these things, but someone else would. Someone. A third opinion.
Comedian Jordan Peele actually produced this video to warn about the future of fake news. The technology uses sophisticated artificial intelligence tools able to turn familiar faces.
You purchased and done at home.
Was this video supposed to be funny? Because that guy is a comedian. So this is actually a serious video.
It was supposed to be an educative video on why not to believe in all stuff that comes out. So this was deep fakes. So then we have bias in AI systems. There is, have you heard the word hallucination in terms of AI? Like an AI system or a generative AI. Like generative AI is something that generates a text or image, like ChatGPT or DeepSeek or anything. You know, they generate videos, voice, images, anything. So hallucination is a term that is used in generative AI when it gives answers that are not real. It gives answers which should not be given. So it said an AI hallucinates. So you know, that was just for information. Bias in AI systems, as I talked about earlier, normally bias creeps into a system because of the training data. Normally the data is fed by people, and people tend to have biases. And normally, even the documents that you give to the AI, or even the prompts that you give, AI is still learning from it. So it may take all those prompts, it may take all those data, it may develop a certain bias, and it can be seen especially in facial recognition systems, where these systems tend to be a little biased towards men of fair color, men or women of fair color, and it is less accurate for people of darker skin, people having darker skin. So this makes those people lose trust in the system itself. So this is one example of bias. I think there was some other example of bias as well. Normally in the text that these models get, the input text with which they learn, there may be lots of stereotypes about some community or some place or any object. So the AI may learn the same thing, and it may produce such output which is biased. So these type of issues are there, and human correction is needed. This was about bias. There are legal, ethical concerns about data privacy, transparency, accountability that we talked about earlier, because we know that most of us do not know what an AI consists of, what is the mechanism with which it gives you the output. It's a black box, and therefore all the wrong data or the biased data or the low quality data can give outcomes that we would not want for ourselves. So this can perpetuate biases, leading to unfair outcomes. There's problem about data ownership. Who owns the data that is produced by an AI system? Suppose I ask an AI system, write a book for me. Suppose I don't. You generate your own story, write a book for me, and then suppose I write a great book, and then I say this is my book, because no one knows that AI is generated, and I cannot no one goes out there to verify it. But to be honest, my book is not of that sort. So, but I could have done that, right? I could have done that, and the ownership of that data. Now there is a problem. Should it lie with me or with the AI system? Because now there is no certainty as to with whom the data lies. So who owns the data? So this is one issue. The liability for AI errors, like I talked about earlier, who is liable if an AI makes mistakes? That is also a key question, and it has not been solved yet. There's always a need for ethical oversight. People have to, normally users have to be aware that AI will make mistakes, and they'll have to make judgments on their own. And this is even more important for judges than for us common people, because it will harm other lives. Other lives are at stake. In your case, in our case, only our lives are at stake. So this is regarding legal, ethical. And then the final one is over-reliance problem, which we will definitely get into in the future. In the coming 4-5 years, maybe the 4.7 crore plus pending cases will go down to less than 1 crore. but then we'll rely on AI so much that we'll have this over-reliance problem, and then we may take the recommendations of AI as the sole truth, which should not happen. And the blind trust leads to blind error, and it may lead to catastrophic circumstances. The AI lacks transparency. It's a black box, as I already said, so we do not know what's inside. Therefore, we should not rely totally on it. Human oversight is vital. This is the whole gist of this session is human oversight is vital. Now we'll move on to cybersecurity. What is cybersecurity? Now, just think about it in this way. You have a gated compound, you have a house, you have a beautiful house with all the lawns and everything, you have invested much in it. But if there is no one to protect it, there is no security, then anyone may come anytime. They may loot your house, they may attempt burglary. So, like a security guard in a house, cybersecurity is kind of a protection for your digital data, because not just your data, your device, your whole I think a part of our life is now only digital, so cybersecurity protects that. Now, related to courts which hold sensitive data, protecting this data is paramount to the integrity of the judicial system, because once that data is gone, or if there is any attack, it can disrupt justice in such a way that right now it may not disrupt it in a manner that in a very huge manner, because most of the things are happening offline. But once things go online, and once most of the things are happening over the internet or digitally, hackers can attack these systems, and then it can lead to a cyber paralysis situation where you cannot do anything. Even you have the whole control physically, you do not have the digital control over data or over systems. So it can even happen that this is a very far-fetched conspiracy theory, but it can also happen that courts cannot be functioning for 6 months at a go, because the system has been hacked, and it cannot be, it's beyond repair maybe. So this is a risk. So cybersecurity is very important, and we all know that data it is modern power, and companies are also just happy with your data because they are earning from your data. They are not asking for money directly, they are just taking your data. So in the digital world, it is said whatever does not cost you money costs. There's something I just forgot, but whatever does not cost you money, whatever is free, costs you your data. So, and then that data is sold to companies. Like suppose you Google so many things, you search for so umpteen number of things on Google, and then Google gives you all the answers. You feel okay, everything is good. This is all a give and take relationship. And one fine day you see that whatever you're searching for on Google is being sold on is being promoted on Amazon, because it's selling the data to Amazon. I'm not implying that it is, but it may be. We do not know, and it may be selling small. Websites may also be selling data to lots of others, other big websites. So this is why cybersecurity is very important. There are some Indian cyber incidents that I have listed out. The most famous one, I think, is the AIMS data breach in 2022, November 23rd, 2022. Chinese hackers, they had launched a ransomware attack on the AIMS server. This was 23rd November 2022, and then between January 2018 and September 2023, that is 5.5 years, 373 central and state government websites were hacked. 373. So you imagine the number of data that was stolen. So it poses a very, it poses a direct threat to the very structure of democracy itself. That's why as we go more digital, we have to be more, we have to place, more security in our cyber systems. So the next one was websites being hacked. Some examples are the Indian Council of Medical Research. This system suffered a major breach which compromised almost 81.5 crore users' data. So it may contain all of our data. Sorry. So we do not know. It may or may not contain, but within that 81.5 crore data within that data set, one of it may be ours. So someone has the information. They're selling it on the dark web. They're getting all the information. This company called Boat, you know about the Boat, right? Company called Boat, they also suffered an outage, and I think 3 crore users' data was taken away by miscreants, and they were sold in the dark web. And the dark web is a place, normally what we see on the internet, what we can access is the open web, and dark web is a place in the internet which is beyond access to normal people like us. It takes specialized software and specialized tools, but once you go there, you can find like stuff which is illegal in the open web. So you can find lots of stuff like dealing with arms, and then cryptocurrency is used a lot, but they sell and buy arms, they sell and buy children out there. There's a lot of pornography which is illegal in the open web, that is legal out there, and agencies cannot do anything about it. There's such a situation that we are in right now. And also a fake website mimicking a government portal led to thousands of pensioners being defrauded in January 2023. So this was also an issue. This is called phishing. Phishing is where you have a website, like suppose you go to Facebook and you have a website just like Facebook, where you enter your login ID, your user credentials, ID and password, and then since it is not the original site, so what happens is hackers have all the information, and then they'll go to the original Facebook account and then they'll do stuff with your data. So that's called phishing, where some other sites are used to impersonate another site. So those kind of things have happened, and the Indian Judiciary is now on NIC cloud. Most of us are using mail.gov.in, and it is secure. It is all controlled by the NIC, National Informatics Center, which controls all government websites as well. So even Sikkim Judicial Academy, the website of Sikkim Judicial Academy is on NIC. So the High Court and all. So it is resting at a secure location, but behind the scenes, NIC people are working hard, working day and night to make sure that no one attacks our systems. So cybersecurity is so important in this era. Now the DPDP Act that I was talking about, the Digital Personal Data Protection Act. I think judges know about this act better than me, but still, this act defines data and consent. First, this is I think a first act in India which talks about protecting personal data of a user online, the digital personal data.
It contradicts with right to information.
Maybe, ma'am, but I do not know much about the contradiction because I have not studied that part. But maybe, ma'am, if you say so. It defines data and consent. It defines data as anything that anything that is used to identify a user. So my name is my data, my location is my data, and anything that identifies me as an individual is data. Consent is whatever. So consent, it is mentioned under section 6, subsection 1, which is a clear affirmative action to voluntarily give permission for a specific purpose, and it must be free, specific, informed, and so on. So it defines data and consent, and there is right to correction or erasure. Under section 12 of the DPDP Act, the user has the right to correct his or her data, to delete his or her data, to modify the data. And the duty to safeguard personal data lies on the data fiduciary, or the organization which is taking your data. So suppose I have all the information on Facebook about, all personal information about me. So Facebook must, safeguard my personal data from attacks. So they have to keep in place the system that prevents attacks. Because if my data is lost, they are responsible. So this act says so. We are coming to the end. So we have some cyber hygiene tips. Just like we have oral hygiene, because that's what I have been learning about recently. Because I think normally we used to neglect oral hygiene, and we normally neglect lots of things before until that thing comes to haunt us. So I was also neglecting oral hygiene a lot. So now I come to know about the value of it, why it should be taken seriously. In a similar way, cyber hygiene is also very, very important. There are only some key points as to what you should do. Like you should use strong passwords always. The next slide contains even better do's and don'ts. So this slide has these points. Strong passwords. They are very crucial. And this is the first way, first step to preventing an attack, taking place on your data. So use a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols. Don't use something that you can be identified with. Like, do not use your surname or your name. Do not use your year of birth. If you want to use such things, you have to use them in such a way that parts of the data are obliterated. You can use your personal information in such a way. You have to update passwords regularly. And use two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication has become a must for almost all the services. So there is an OTP. Either there is an OTP or there is an authenticator application where you get an OTP and then you copy the OTP to the system. It is there in the Gov emails also. It is there in most of the systems. In your Google, I think most of us use Gmail out here. So in Gmail also, two-factor authentication is being used since quite a long time now.
Can we use the same password every?
So it is not recommended, sir.
Because it's so difficult to remember passwords actually.
Actually, it is not recommended to use the same password, because once I find out one of your passwords, I can use the same password in all your accounts. So not recommended, sir, but if you tend to forget so much, you can use slight variations.
I have a diary.
But you have to keep the diary secure, sir. Because if someone gets to it, then that would be a problem.
Facebook, Instagram, and banking accounts and everything is like you require a password.
Yes, sir.
Actually, very difficult.
It is actually difficult. To keep different passwords. It is difficult, but I think that would be a good habit. A little variation here and there would be better, because.
Oral hygiene.
Yes, sir. That is true. Then don't share credentials. So this is what you do not give your diary to someone if you have the passwords written out there. You do not share your credentials. If someone asks for an OTP, it's always written, right? Never share your OTP. But obviously, it's not always practical to not share your OTP. Sometimes you have to share your OTP with someone you trust. That's okay, but times will come when someone will impersonate that trustworthy person of yours. So there will be deep fake voice coming from the other side, and this has already happened. There have been lots of instances where people from the other side call and they talk to you in the voice of your relative or your friend. No, OTP, I'm just doing a credit card transaction for 90,000, give me the OTP. You give the OTP, you just think, okay, this is to my friend. Or they ask for money directly. Send this to this account. I have to pay to this account. Please, I'll return it to you in 2 days. You send it, and then your money is gone. And especially it's used for money, but because I think money is the biggest motivator. So they are learning all these tricks to earn easy money. Then avoid public Wi-Fi. This is especially for judges. If you are using your laptops in public Wi-Fi, do not enter these sensitive information, because public Wi-Fi may be tapped. You never know. And especially open networks like the one we have out here. It's not tapped, but like the one we have out here, the TP-Link one. It's open. Anyone, any hacker, if I'm a good hacker, I can just tap into the network. Whoever is connected, I can get all the details about what they are doing on the device. So you should always be careful about public Wi-Fi. And if possible, you can use a VPN to encrypt all the data, and that makes it very secure. It will cost you some amount of money, but it is beneficial. Then you have to verify emails. I think that's just normal logic. That's common sense. That before downloading attachments or clicking links, you have to check if it has come from a verified source, because the name, there are two parts to an email, right? Like the display name, like it can have Adarsha Kharel as the display name, but then the email ID may not be mine. The email ID may be someone else's, because the name, everyone can have the same name, but the email ID is it's unique to an individual. So you'll always have to check the name, the ID beneath the name. So that's very important, because sometimes during rush we tend to overlook such things, and that can lead to lots of malicious applications being installed in your phones. If you use iPhone, you have a certain degree of security, so these things do not come into your phone so easily. But on Androids, you can have APKs that companies ask you to just download these APKs, install, and you never know what an APK is doing in the background. I recently faced such an issue when my dad's phone was hacked. His WhatsApp was hacked because he downloaded some app. Because dads, you all know, they are fairly recent users, so they do not know what to do. So he just downloaded an app. He didn't know what it was doing. 15-20 days afterwards, his WhatsApp DP was of a girl, some girl, and then the name was also changed, and all his chats were missing, and he could not access WhatsApp. So the app was doing all of that. So it took some research and some stuff. My brother managed to do it finally, and he removed the app, because at the beginning the app was also not being uninstalled. So such is the plight when you do not know what to do when apps hack your phones or your laptops. So these are some tips, and here are some do's and don'ts for digital safety. First, as we already talked about, create complex passwords and avoid reusing them across different accounts. If you have to reuse, kindly change a little bit here, a little bit there, a little capital letters, a little small letters, some dollar signs, some @ and stuff like that. Enable two-factor authentication to add an extra layer of security to your accounts. Two-factor authentication, most, as we already talked about, most companies will ask you to enable this, and if they do not ask you, kindly do enable, because it will safeguard your data. Regularly install updates for your operating system and applications to patch security vulnerabilities. Now, Windows provides lots of regular updates, and because there are lots of bad actors who are always trying to find out faults in systems, these companies also, what they do is they keep on updating themselves so that they cannot be attacked. So they send out updates, and you have to install them in your systems. Do not do not keep waiting for a larger update, or do not keep waiting for the next update. Just whenever it is possible, kindly update your laptops, your phones, because it is very essential for cybersecurity purposes. Then adjust your privacy settings on social media and other platforms to control who sees your information. Even in WhatsApp we all use, there is this setting as to who can see your last scene, who can see if you have, or if people can see if you have read their messages, or who can see your profile picture and all stuff. So you can adjust all these kind of settings in your social media and other platforms. Regularly back up important personal data to an external drive or secure cloud service. Now, you may have personal data, you may have important data in a lot of websites, and it is not. It is quite difficult for an individual to manage all different websites at the same time. So, like Sir said, you can have notes. You can write certain information. That's very crucial to you in your notebook. Suppose, actually, that is also not recommended. But if you can keep your notebook secure, you can do that, or you can, keep some information in your notes app. In iOS, I think there's a notes app, so you can lock the application.
I remember that movie Gajini or something like that. He'll write all over his body.
Yes. So I think we all, if there's no notes app or if there's no notebook that we can use, all of us will be writing on our bodies. So because phones have made life so easy and difficult at the same time, because we don't have to remember anything and we now can't remember anything. So that is regularly back up if the data is important, you should back it up to some place. At least download the data and keep it in a pen drive or a hard drive externally. Be cautious about the websites you visit and avoid clicking on links or pop-ups from unknown sources. You always need to know the site name, not just anyone can write Facebook or anyone can write WhatsApp, but the main thing is www.facebook.com. If it is not facebook.com or if it is not google.com, even I can create a site that looks like Google, but it may not be www.google.com. So that is how phishing is done, and we must always be cautious about what websites we are visiting, what links we are clicking. Then ensure that your antivirus program is installed and kept up to date with latest definitions. So definitions are like updates. So your antivirus program, you should have at least one, not more than one, because if you have more than one, there is a probability that both these antiviruses fight with each other. They have their own set of definitions that they feel that this is a virus. So a Kaspersky antivirus and a McAfee antivirus may have some definitions that feel like Kaspersky may feel that this is McAfee is a virus, and McAfee antivirus may feel that this Kaspersky is a virus. So they may keep battling between themselves. So it's never recommended to have two different antiviruses. Just have one, and in Windows there is already Windows Defender. So you can always have it up to date, and you can use Windows Defender. And the don'ts. Now the don'ts. Avoid sharing your home address, phone number, or school name online. Now school name, okay, we do not share it, but like your home address, phone number, unless it is used for a specific purpose, like a delivery purpose, or purpose. And even for delivery, I've heard people misusing your addresses, your phone numbers. People are always, individuals are always clever enough to find, faults or loopholes in systems. So there was this one case, and most of us know about it. Not just one case, like multiple cases of our phone number theft, bank account detail theft from Jamtara. I think most of us have seen the series as well, because Jamtara was infamous for its criminal cyber activities. And what they used to do was they used to call a person. They used to have all their details, Aadhaar, bank details, and they used to talk as if they are talking from a bank. And once their prey was ready to be consumed, then what they would do is they would ask for the OTP, and then okay, now you give me the OTP. Now you do. Once the OTP is done, all the money has been transferred. They would do this twice, thrice, until all the money has been transferred to their account. They would just break the SIM, use another SIM, then keep on. And this was a village which used to do all those stuff. So avoid sharing your home address, phone number, school, other details online, unless it is explicitly mentioned and it is absolutely necessary to do so. Never share your passwords, especially with people who ask for them through email or messages. So if people, because your emails may be seen by someone else, you do not know, someone, the person to whom you are sending your password through email may have had his email compromised. So we do not know. So you should not share your passwords, OTPs over emails or messages. But yes, sometimes it is entirely unavoidable. Be wary of links and attachments in unsolicited emails or messages, as they can contain. This is similar to the thing that do not click links. Question information and verify facts with reliable sources, as fake news is widespread, and this is a problem that is widespread, obviously, but I think this is very difficult to control, because there have been mob lynching incidents due to fake messages and fake videos on WhatsApp. So this is a very serious, grave issue, and we always need to verify facts based on from reliable sources. And these days it's very difficult to identify if a source is reliable or not, because even the giant media houses have become a little unreliable over their media reporting these days. So we will have to take everything with a pinch of salt. And then avoid performing online banking or shopping on public computers or unsecure Wi-Fi networks, because obviously when you're doing online banking or shopping, you are giving, you're sharing your credentials, you're supplying your ID, password and stuff like that. So on public computers or unsecure Wi-Fi networks, anyone can tap. Any good hacker, any basic, if he is a hacker, he can absolutely tap your data, you can take all your data away. So that is for the do's and don'ts, digital safety. I think we have come to the conclusion. These are the key takeaways from today's session. That AI serves as a tool rather than an authority. It enhances legal efficiency and accessibility, complementing but not substituting human judgment. So AI will always assist you, but will never replace you, and it will never be that empathetic human being that judges are. That's why it will always assist. And kindly do not, I urge you to not resist AI. It has come, it will do its duty. Why I say not resist, because it is for sure that AI will come, and it has come, and you cannot deny it. So this, there was a dialogue, but I forgot. Love me or hate me, but do not. You can love me or hate me, but you cannot ignore me, or something of that sort. So AI is, this is a similar case with AI. You can love it, you can hate it, but you cannot ignore it. Now that it has come, and then it will unleash its full might within the next 5 years. So you can just let it assist you, or it will forcefully come and assist you. So that, I think that's the main thing. You need to verify all outputs, because AI will make mistakes. That is for sure. They will keep on making mistakes. They will train themselves. They will, AI will be made better, but will still make mistakes, because it's still not human, and we all know to err is human. So AI will protect data. You need to protect your personal data at all costs. You need to protect not just your personal data. As judges, you need to protect data of lots of other people who are involved in cases that you are dealing with. And ethics above speed. AI will surely give you speed. 100% will give you speed. But most important thing to keep in mind is to always place ethics above speed, because you may be a little late. Better late than never, right? Because once you decide on a person's life with lightning speed, but then you later realize that it was a wrong decision, just because you chose speed over ethics, that would haunt you for life. So I think these are the key takeaways from today's program. And that's it. Thank you so much. But then I do not rely totally on it. I do my own research. I use ChatGPT for the basic things, and then on what it has given me as its output, then I do my own research on that, because I know that lots of fake stuff are being given as output. So then it is all upon the user who's getting the output to decide whether he or she wants to accept it as is or wants to do their own research. Because previously, to speak the truth, like I have my YouTube channel and I upload videos every fortnight. And previously, what I used to do was I used to take the help of AI. I used to ask ChatGPT to generate all scripts, and I did not take time and effort into research for researching, if it is actually true or not. And later on, I came to realize with that example, because I thought I had to verify facts before telling people if it is actually true or not. So once I started verifying the facts, I found out that there were lots of issues, there were lots of wrong information that it was sharing, that it was giving to me. So still I use ChatGPT. I use Poe as well sometimes, because this also has all the models that we can use, and the bots and apps. You can use lots of models out there. GPT, you can use GPT 3.5, you can use GPT-5 Cloud by Gemini, and then Gemini itself, GPT-5, Grok 4. There are lots of models, and this is an integrator. So you can use Poe if you want to use almost any GPT model. If you want to use any large language model, you can use Poe, and you can select a bot or select an app, and you can do that. But most of the irrespective of which bot you use or which model you use, most of them are nearly identical with their outputs, and they may present data in their own manner, but you must always decide, verify the facts before deciding whether to take it as it is or doing more research on the same. So I think if you ask me, I use mostly ChatGPT. I have the app itself. So I ask for doctoral advice as well, and it gives some advice regarding this and that as well. So
And for video editing, what do you use?
So for editing, I use Filmora. But then video editing, I'm also still learning. It's a very huge field, and it's a different skill altogether. So it's not a piece of cake for me, because I'm not very good at editing videos and doing image stuff like Photoshop and all. Some people they are very creative in that, and they do stuff way better than I use it. So it is used inside this chat. So it'll always remember that never present generated, inferred, speculated or deduced content as fact. If you cannot verify something, directly say I cannot verify this, I don't have access to that information, my knowledge base does not contain that. Label unverified content at the start of a sentence, inference, or speculation, or unverified. Ask for clarification if information is missing. Do not guess or fill gaps. If any part is unverified, label the entire response. Do not paraphrase or reinterpret my input unless I request it. If you use these words, label the claim unless sourced. Prevent, guarantee, will never, fixes, eliminates, ensures that. For LLM behavior claims, including yourself, include inference or unverified with a note that it's based on observed patterns. If you break this directive, say correction. I previously made an unverified claim that was incorrect and should have been labeled. Never override or alter my input unless asked. So once I gave that, it said I will strictly follow this directive. And in this chat, it will not save that to memory, but in this chat, whatever I say, it'll only give me verified facts. Now you have projects as well, so whenever you create a new project, you can add this prompt at the beginning, so that it'll give you only verified facts. And if it is not,
You are admitting what to chat.
yes, sir, in one way I'm doing that. So give me only verified facts, kind of. So
Will you share this prompt with us?
I'll share it. So I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Very